Alrighty, folks! Today we are doing a quick tutorial on how to clean crappie, but this really goes for any panfish or any fish in general. Because most fish have the same kind of anatomy, the guts in the middle, the scales, the same kind of shape. But we're going to show you how to fillet crappie and how to clean them whole. We're also going to show you how to batter them up and fry them. So we're going to show you the whole process. Right now I have two of the biggest crappie I caught from Green Valley Lake up in the San Bernardino Mountains. But to start, we're going to show you how to fillet a crappie. So to fillet a crappie, I always want to get the most meat possible. So I tend to start from up here and work my way all around the spine instead of coming straight down. So we're going to do that. You want to get a nice fillet knife. Fillet knives specifically are good because they can bend. And so you start right here with the knife straight up and flat, and you're going to want to come down a little bit and just slice till you hit the bone. And then once you do that, you're going to want to run the knife all down the backbone of the fish. Once you get to about here, you can poke your knife through and come down and slice the tail. I like to leave a little bit of skin at the end of the tail so that when the fillet is off, I can flip it over and then continue filleting. And then you just want to open it up and see where you're going. You're going to want to just run it right down the bones without cutting through the bones. And once you get to here, once you get to about here, there will be, you'll get to the rib cage, and that kind of sticks. So the bones are going straight down, and then it kind of sticks out and comes around. So once you get to there, you need to really run your knife over the rib cage, and you will not get a lot of meat from the stomach. But that's okay, because there's not really any meat to be had on the stomach. The rib bones really come right up to the skin.
I didn't get some of this meat here, so I'm going to cut that off. I'm not really the best fillet, but you definitely want to have your knife right up to the
bones. And yeah, this is a pretty poor fillet job. So now you want to come and run your knife right up against the skin. That's our fillet from a crappie. It is a pretty small crappie, but I mean...
And that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones we caught from that lake. I mean, it's not a big crappie in general, but it's a big one for Green Valley Lake. And then you just want to do the same thing to the other side. And we'll get back to you when we're going to do the other crappie, and for that one we're going to show you how to clean them whole. You get a lot more meat that way. Alright, well, now we're going to show you how to clean a crappie whole. This goes a lot faster than filleting it, and you can get as much meat as possible since it's a pretty small fish, hard to fillet. So I like to use a knife that is serrated. I just feel like it gets the scales off easier, and this one isn't too sharp either. So you want to keep the knife flat up against the fish and just scrape the scales off. The scales obviously go from head to tail this way, so you need to scale them this way. So
Yeah, I switch it around. Because you can't get the scales off the tail when you're holding it from the tail. Makes sense. See how fast that was? Now we do the other side. It moved. So, it moved.
Okay. Now to get all the scales off, we just rinse off our fish. And now, now we take the head off and pull the guts out. It's easier to pull the guts out when you start by cutting off the head. So I cut from the top here so I can get this bit of head meat. I like to do this with scissors. You can do it with a knife, but it's just hard to do with a knife because you have to come down like this, and it's hard to hold the fish straight up like this against the surface. So it's easier for me to do it with a good pair of scissors. You just come around, slice that off, and then you can poke the knife through the fish's anus and slide it up and slice through. But since the head is already taken off, I find it easier to just come from the top and slice it like that to create a little slit to pull the guts out of. So now you grab all the guts here, you pull them out and toss them to the side. This little orange thing is part of the guts. All of this is part of the guts. And you'll get a little black line here on most fish. You just want to scrape as much of that out as you can with the nail on your thumb. And then once more, you just want to rinse the fish all off. So we've got a filleted crappie. It's our little ball of meat that we're gonna make a little bit of fish cake, and our whole crappie. Now we're gonna get to the cooking process. Those are a bunch of smaller crappies, a smaller crappie that I caught and already cleaned off camera. So there we go. All right, so now we've got our full plate of fish here, and we're ready to season. Here's what I use for seasoning. I just use salt, pepper, Old Bay, and garlic powder. So I like to get my breading here and then mix all the seasoning in later. The breading is half flour. This is bread flour, but I don't think it makes a difference when you're just frying. It's not like you're baking bread with it. This is bread flour and cornmeal, cornstarch, or corn flour, same thing. So I don't really use a measuring cup or anything. I can just eye it. It doesn't have to be exactly one part of each. So that's 1 part flour and about 1 part cornmeal. Now we're gonna get our salt. I always just eyeball it, but technically you're supposed to use 2 tablespoons and about 2 cups of the, or I think 3 cups total for all the flour and cornmeal. So I just eyeball it, but I think that should be good. And you can always put salt on the fish once it's already fried. Then I put a good amount of garlic powder, I think. That should be good. Then a good amount of black pepper. That should be good. Then a good amount of Old Bay. Good amount of everything. Pretty much equal amounts of everything, but you probably want a little less garlic powder than anything else because it's pretty strong stuff. Then I just mix it up with my hands as well as possible. Always wash your hands before doing this. I've already washed my hands. And then to demonstrate, we're just gonna start with one fish, one small crappie here. I tried to do a double batter, so dip it in the flour first to get a light coating of that. Then the egg wash. Oh, by the way, I just use egg whites or whole eggs, whatever I have right now. Right now, all my eggs are boiled, so I'm using egg whites. It doesn't really make a flavor difference, though. So we dip it in our mixture, and we try to get it in the inside for our first coat. Then we get it all in the egg wash. Then we get it back in the mixture. And then we get it on our plate. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this fillet here. These are 2 fillets actually from 1 crappie. This is all the meat we got. We're just gonna make a little fish ball. Flour, egg wash, flour, try to keep it all together, and make a nice little patty like that. Now we're just gonna do the same thing with every fish, and we'll get back to you when we're frying. Alright, so now we are going to get our pan ready. I'm gonna use a big pan because we have a lot of fish, of course, but any pan will do really. I like to keep the heat on medium when I'm frying fish. It doesn't get too hot, but it still fries them in a few minutes. So we're gonna pour in our oil. Use canola oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, really any cooking oil besides olive oil. You do not want to use olive oil. That's a pretty good layer right there, about 1/4 of an inch. Maybe we will put a little bit more, but just a little bit more, so the fish, you know, it's better have a little bit of thicker layer. But we're gonna wait for that to heat up, and then we're gonna fry our fish. All right, now we're gonna fry our fish. We have a big plate of breaded fish, and our oil is hot. So, I just grab a fish and put it in with my hand there. Well, actually, I'll use tongs because it splashed up a little bit. But basically, you want to get about 2.5 or 3 minutes on each side of the fish when you're frying over medium heat. Same thing with every fish.
Mighty pretty there, Harry.
Mighty fine fish here.
That there fish.
Louisiana fish fry.
That fish looks darn good. I'm getting hungry right now. I'm finna eat me some crappie.
And now, our little fillet here, little fish cake, tiny bit of meat. After these are done frying, we're gonna do the rest of our fish. It looks like it'll be done in about 2 minutes. The flour's already getting brown. Okay, our fish is now ready to flip. That actually only took about 2 minutes for it to be done. Not done, but just ready to flip. So you just wanna, you don't really have to have a timer going. You can just sit here and eyeball it. It doesn't take too long. Once it's golden brown, that's how you know it's ready. So now all our fish has been flipped, and we'll get back to you in another 2 minutes, I guess. All right, we are back with you 2 minutes later, and our fish is ready to come off the frying pan. Nice golden brown fish. Golden brown on both sides.
Gold.
Some random weird guys talking in the background. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll get him out of here in a second. Ouch. So that fish is off the pan. Now we are going to put this fish into the grease. Should just take another 4 minutes to fry. And we got these bits of, I cut the fins off of the one fish that we didn't cook whole, the one little fillet we got, and just gonna drop them in the grease. Those should cook fast. Okay, We have some well done fish here. And geez, very, very, very well done. Taking it off the skillet. We got a full plate of fish here. 9 crappie total. Now, we are gonna take our plate over here and do our famous taste test. Famous loop fishing taste test. Now we're gonna try some meat. Some beautiful white crappie meat right here on the fork with some bones in it that we'll just pick out. And now let's try it. Mmm. That is very good fish. Of course, since you cook it whole, you get a lot of bones in your mouth, but that's okay. So yeah, there's your quick tutorial on how to clean and cook pretty much any fish, filleted and whole, even though I did a horrible fillet job. But thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.